as if we did not lose another, as if life were never so convenient and guns so easy to reach. Our country's so trigger happy these days, or sad depending on who's dying today, depending on the touch. The moon raises my rivers. Yesterday I leaked all around the house, a bad cough and a cloud looking over my shoulder as I wrote. And though I cry, I am celebrating a woman I love, who loved me before I knew myself to be. What blooms in the blood, what scratches the voice, trembles words. Every day is a new morning. Another fight we live to dance between tears beating on our faces. I am tired of strength. I don't want to be strong all the time. When I first showed up to the community organizing meeting, I uttered the word poetry, and their faces sunk with confusion. Who's got time for poems when the world's on fire? And your brother's body on your front door, and your sister's been missing for weeks, and your dad got laid off, and your mother gone mad with mothering, and your uncle locked up, and your aunt need a fix. I mean, life can get you down and out. But when the organizers was weary, and all the marching wore them down, and all the meetings ended in arguments, and all the foundations brought out the snakes, and all the trauma piled up on their desk, and all the campaigns ended with politicians, I offered them poems. I offered them poems. Poems in their palms like petunias, revolutionary and blushing shades of plum. I fed them Sonia and Jane and June and Pat Parker and Carolyn Rogers. How every poem still pierces true. Like yesterday's battlefields, tomorrow's front yard, still, all my heroes are fighting depression. Some live to see what they fought to prevent, and we ought to keep our hopes high. But all this comfort and security got our institutions kidnapped in broad daylight, treaty torn, tricked and bamboozled by the beaming brilliance of greed, got our babies programmed for numbness. Content is, and what is an enemy if we do not know who our friends are? And who is a comrade these days when the poems are good, depending on who reposts them, or depending on who's fetching awards, and who will feed our activists, our organizers, our people freedom, if not the poets. We are losing our frontline warriors to suicide, and it's not choosing to fight, a sort of sacrifice, a kind of offering. All our children have become altars to the Liberation Front. You know, the other day, we lost Amber Evans' baby girl found in 𝗕𝗹𝘂𝗨𝗨 River. She was 28. And before that, it was Erica Garner, heart full of storm and lightning. She was 27. And before that, it was Marshawn McCarroll on the steps of the Ohio State House, haunted by the hunting. He was 23. Bassem Masri, our Palestinian brother from another mother. And what about Ferguson and Edward Crawford and Darren Seals, and how dreams still smell of tear gas and milk? We cry trumpets and turntables in the corners of our hopes. We rhythm and blues, and though I cry, I am celebrating. I am celebrating a woman I love. She who turned the pen in her hand into a grenade. Haiku homegirl folklore florists flung stories into our minds, planted orchids and daffodils, sunflowers. She who shivered the sky, sun showers, born of her blessing. The flesh of her words, kindred sister who wrote for daughters of a movement, who say, do, and act. The call, the response. the riot of our rebellious laughter as we readied our reasons for writing. As we readied our reasons for writing, we armed ourselves with her poems. A strategy for organizing the heart, prophetic prayers, a smile made of spirituals and birth pains. These days it hurts to write. Every sentence is like a false promise. Is we or is we not trying to get free? And when the poems do what they do, when they do what they do, they get it done. Sister Sanchez, eternal fellow fire spitter, bad. I mean bad, bad to the bone. I never met a poet who loved us like you do, and all of us. And when my anger knocks the wind out of my weeping, I sit on the hill of your humming words and feast of the ways we got to get to where we're going, how to be human. How to shake loose, arms outstretched, truth-telling care. Uncool and truth-telling care, how to heal in the cathedral of hands. This is a poem for you, for all of us poets. For all of us poets, and the poems that sistered us in this ancestral war. All the lines somersaulting, Sister Sanchez, you are our North Star in our darkest nights.